Chag Chanukah Sameach, dear all the alumni, all the parents, all the supporters. 17 years ago, when we started the Yeshiva here in the building. You know, I'm not so religious, and there are many people here who are in Yeshiva, or Rabbanim, or Avrechim, with alcohol details. Think I'm too liberal, or they think I'm influenced by my wife. And I let my wife to give a shir, to talk. A few people went to Rabbanit and complained how you let to be yourself in Yeshiva. What Bina's wife talking in the Midrash. And I said, Kvod Harav, Roinu Rabbeinu Rabbanit Shlita, the holy man, the God Lador. I said, Rabbanit, I want to tell you a story. You married to Mir Yeshiva, your wife, first my Shifra, was Finkel, the granddaughter of Rabbi Lezer Yudah. When the Rabbi Lezer Yudah was Rosh Yeshiva, in Mir in Europe, came to visit the president of American Friend, of Mir Yeshiva. And she was a woman, the grandmother or the grandmother of Arav Yitzchak Ira Koren Shlita in Timaria. Rabbi Ruchem came to the Midrash in the middle of morning Seder, Mir! And he gave a clap on the Bina. And he said, Rabbi Lezer Yudah Rosh Yeshiva is our father. Mrs. So-and-so, she is our mother. She will dress you with few words. Middle of Seder, any woman. Our Nebzat got up and said, I'm sorry. As from now on, be normal people. We are not liberal, we are normal people. Chag Chanukah Sameach, love all of you, Aaron, cross from Oli of Oli, Yerushalayim.
Almost Hanukkah. I don't know if you can say Happy Hanukkah or if that's Baltosi, I don't know. But right, we're getting there. But I want to share a few insights and reflections as you reflect when you light your candles that I gleaned personally from the Sfat Emet, and share them with you and try to connect it to our lives today. First, the Sfat Emet asks a very good question. You know, I learned this many times and never saw this question. In the Gemara, we all know it starts, the part that tells us the origin of Hanukkah. What are the opening words? What? Excuse me? Oh, very good. Tanu Rabbana. No, because that's what it should be. But what is it? No. That tells you the origin of Hanukkah, why we celebrate Hanukkah. And Chaf Aleph Amud Bet on Shabbat. What?
Mitzvat Chanukah.
No. What are the first two words? Then it goes to Tanu Rabbana. Right, but really it should have just been Tanu Rabbana. He knows the word, Tanu Rabbana. How does it start? My Hanukkah. Where are the Shana Bet boys? Okay. Shana Gimel. Okay. My Hanukkah. That's how it starts. And the Sfat Emet asks, why doesn't it just start? What's your name? What? David. Why doesn't it just start like most normal, right, units? They'll start Tanu Rabbanan. What's the question here? My Hanukkah. That's what he said there. In Hanukkah, it's a time to question. It's a time to question, what is it all about? And the Gemara right away says, what's the answer of the Gemara? It doesn't go into the few and the many and the holy and the unholy and this. It goes right to the miracle of the oil. Right? When the Greeks wanted to come in, and they came in and they defamed the sacred Beit HaMikdash, right? And the Jews came back after the victory, the Hashmonaim. They look and they want to find a oil that wasn't impurified. Right, and it was only the one flask that they found that should have only lasted right what we know. That's there in the Gemara. because it's all about my Hanukkah. It's a miracle. It's a time for miracles. And I think that now Hanukkah, and this is the Sfat Emet says so beautifully, it's not just for Hanukkah. This is the time every year. This is a time every year there are miracles. Boys who thought they couldn't open a Gemara can suddenly open the Gemara. Okay, an hour a day, 2 hours a day. Things start happening. Miracles start happening. Each generation has its own miracles. We have the miracle of being back in Eretz Yisrael, Medinat Yisrael, the government. No, we don't have a government yet, but no, well, one of these days, one of these years, we'll have a government. That'll be another miracle. Hear that with I don't know how many, Ma'atim biyad rabim, how many nations want to attack us and kill us, and here we are, we're thriving. There's never been so much Torah in Eretz Yisrael. 100 years ago, there was hardly anything. And it's the center of Torah in the whole world. Miracles happen. Miracles happen in each generation. And Hanukkah brings them on. Hanukkah is a time of year, the time when miracles can happen. It happened to the Hashmonaim. It happened in the Beit HaMikdash. But not only. My Hanukkah is a question we always have to search and look for those miracles. And as much as each generation and each person will want to have the miracle, right? You have to have, he speaks a lot, he uses a beautiful word, hishtokekut, a yearning, a longing, a passion, right? He uses this Sfat Emet, a lot of Hasidic writers, masters, hishtokekut, that you have to want it. It just Hashem doesn't come along and do miracles, right? The Yudim wanted it. They wanted to light the menorah. They really could have not, right? Tumah huptara b'tzibor, they didn't have to. But they wanted to light the candles in holiness. And Hashem brought the miracle on. So this is a time of miracles. And as the Sfat Emet said, my Hanukkah, we always have to ask questions and look for new insights. And as I was reading further, where's my water? As I was reading further, the Sfat Emet brought a beautiful Midrash. It's hard to get it in the cup. Okay, so he brings a beautiful Midrash that I had seen, but now I looked into it a little bit more in depth. And the Midrash says, it's a Midrash from Sikta Rabbati, and it talks about the finishing of the Mishkan, right? Finishing of the Mishkan, and according to the Midrash, the Mishkan was finished on the 25th day of Kislev. Wow, that's Hanukkah. But when did Moshe actually put it up? Moshe hikim et HaMishkan. When was the Chanukah HaMishkan? When, what? Someone said it? Nisan, right? Right, okay. Aleph Nisan. So what happened, according to this Midrash? First of all, Moshe came down the second time. It was Yom Kippur, right? So from after Yom Kippur till Hanukkah is over 2 months, right? They were able to do because they had a lot of enthusiasm and happiness. And Hashem would forgive them from the Chet HaEgel, and they could now have their sacred space, the sacred space of the Mishkan, right? With the Mizbeach and the Menorah and the Shulchan. Right, this they can have, and they did it, right? That's why we read also in the Korbanot HaNesiim, because just as now after the victory of the Hashmonaim, the Maccabees, right? We came back to the Beit HaMikdash. Also on Chaf Hei, they really finished the Mishkan, but Hashem told Moshe, fold it up, mikupal, fold it up and put it away, because it's not time yet. And he wanted it to be in Nisan, and now this I never heard. Why in Nisan? Does anybody know? Well, anyway, according to the Midrash, there may be other reasons also. According to the Midrash, because that's when Yitzchak was born. And I was really thinking, what difference does it make? Yitzchak, Abraham, Yaakov, why Dafka Yitzchak? Maybe because Yitzchak was the ultimate sacrifice. And even though, right, Abraham brought his son, Yitzchak agreed to be that sacrifice. And that's a lot of what happens in the Mishkan and the Beit HaMikdash are the sacrifices. So Hashem wanted to give the kavod to Yitzchak and wait, not to put up the Mishkan already on Chafei Kislev, but to do it in the month of Nisan. Now what happens? Who gets gypped here? Chafei Kislev. So what does Hashem do? Chafei Kislev, we'll make them a different holiday for the Mishkan. Right? We'll make another rededication. Just like there should have been the dedication of the first Mishkan on Chafei Kislev. No, then it wasn't right. The timing wasn't right yet. But now this will be another Chag of the Mishkan. And this is another reason that we have that it's on Chafei Kislev. Not only the reason, this is the reason even earlier, because the reason of Hanukkah was about 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago. But if we go back to the original Mishkan, we're talking over 3,000 years ago. The Mishkan, the Midrash takes us back even further, and that this time, a time of miracles, a time of having Makom Kadosh, a time of going to the Beit HaMikdash and having our sanctity and having a place where we can connect to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, right outside the window here. Right, having that place as ours is what we're celebrating, right, in the miracles of Hanukkah. Now, another idea that I wanted to share. The Sfat Emet speaks about Hanukkah, and when we read in Al Hanisim, the first sentence that the Greeks came out, right, Amda Malchut Yavan, and what did they want to do? After the Al Hanisim, Al Hanifla, Kisha Amda Malchut Yavan, right? What did Malchut Yavan want to do? Right? Lashmid. No, that's not what it says there. The first thing afterwards, it talks what?
Lashkicham
Torah. Okay. Lashkicham Torah. Right? Lahavira michukei ritzonecha. Lashkicham Torah. That was the goal. Now, the Greeks had their way of life, their culture, their religion, so to speak, and it was a polytheism. Right? We have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. Right? Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. We believe in one spiritual a God above us, right? One spiritual being of HaKadosh Baruch Hu who leads the world, created the world, omnipotent being. Right? Now there's, the mythology. I don't know if any of you have read, 12 gods and Zeus and Apollo and Ares and this one and that one. It was like a lot of gods. Things were divided. Idolatry. It was, myth. Now, but they were bright people then, right? And there was Chochmah b'Yefet, right? There was wisdom there. And learning the Torah, they even translated the Torah. The Greeks, there was a Greek translation of the Torah. They translated the Torah. And they saw that it could be, this is a competition. It's a competition to Hellenism. It's a competition to Greek mythology. Wow, Torah may even be better. So what do we have to do? We have to come, lashkichan Torah. We have to destroy the Torah. We have to make sure they forget the Torah. They forget the oneness of Hashem. They forget monotheism. And they'll become a religion of mythology. They'll become a religion of mythology, of nothingness, of stories, of bubamaises. Right? What is Greek mythology today? Who knows what Greek mythology is? Nothing. What is it? What does it mean to the world? What did it add to the world? Right? It means, you read it, you learn it. It's shtuyot. It's hevel v'avolim to read Greek mythology. But they felt it was the big chachma, and they had to destroy Torah in order for their wisdom to prevail. And lashkichem Torah. What did Hashem do? He added another holiday. Not only did the Jews not forget their Torah, but they added to the Torah. Dafka. You think that Hellenism, that Polytheism. You think that that can rule the world? You think that that's the Torah? You want to really forget Torah Hashem? You want to make the Jewish people forget who they are, forget the Kedusha, forget the Torah? No. They're going to not only remember it and remember it well and learn it well, we're even going to have more Torah. We're going to have more mitzvot. We're going to have more Kedusha to combat, to overcome, to go against what the Greeks said. You know, just but the exact thing that they thought to do, Lashbicham Toratecha, the opposite happens. Right? They run to the Beit HaMikdash, they light the candles, there's another mitzvah, 8 days, oil, here, there. Right? Like, you know, in there, right before my Hanukkah, how do you do it? You know, Ner Isha, Uvit Veito, Mahadrin, right? Does it go up or down, 1 to 8, 8 to 1? Right? So we have more Torah. We have more Torah, more mitzvah, more light, more shining to combat the ideas of what the Greeks wanted to do. Then I was thinking about that idea. The same thing happened even earlier with Paro. There, what did Paro want to do? What did Paro want to do? To kill out. Right there, it's Lahashmid. Right? Paro didn't deal so much with the religion, not that he was so happy with the Jewish religion, but he just wanted to destroy the nation. He was worried that they would just become too many, and there would be no room for the Egyptians left. He wanted to destroy. And the pasuk even said, "Kasher yanu otam," as they afflicted the Jewish people, to afflict them and to kill them, and the babies and the girls and the boys and the women that were supposed to throw them in the waters, and right, Kain yerbeh v'kain yifrat. Hashem made the opposite happen. Not only will you not be able to kill them, they're going to multiply and become more and more and more. Right? The woman gave birth to 6 at one time. Now, I'm not sure that every single woman had 6 babies every time, but I think the Midrash comes to tell us that there were just a lot. Because Hashem knows the idea of the Goyim. Hashem understands, right? Hashem who knows everything. Hashem knew Paro wanted to get rid, annihilate the Jewish people. No, no, no. They're going to be a lot. They're going to be many. They're going to be stronger and bigger and more, and they're going to have their own nation. The Greeks wanted us to forget the Torah. No, 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 no. Not only, right, there's going to be more Torah. Don't think you can win the battle against Hashem, because Hashem's playing the battle of the mind. He knows how those who are fighting against the Jewish people, fighting against monotheism, fighting against Kedusha, fighting against Torah, he knows what they're thinking. He knows their ideas, and he makes sure that the opposite happens. The opposite happens. Now, I was thinking today, in today's world, what are the people around, the non-Jews, and I'm not saying even in a bad way, what do they want from us? What do they want for us to happen? What do they want with the Jewish people? Now, what I thought and what's the dominant theme of the culture? Now, when I was thinking, there were a few ideas, but one that resonates with me, and that I was almost even sucked into, I would say. I remember, like, I was in the 3rd or 4th grade. I was already born in America, but my parents were European, and they were different. You know, the other people on the block were Christian, and whatever, they didn't have to look different or do different things or couldn't drive on Shabbat or and we were Jewish and we were different. My parents were from Europe. Then I learned in you had social studies. Did you ever have a subject like that? I don't know, the 3rd grade, the 4th grade, social studies. So social studies, they taught us that America is a melting pot. Anyone know? Okay, America is a melting pot. And I said, wow, that sounds good. I'll melt a little. We'll melt. We'll be everyone. You can be a little different, but we're all there together. We're together We melt a little here, a little there, we give in here, we compromise, we this. It's a melting pot. It's all becomes more culturally homogeneous, right? And that's how a society is built, and that's how the American society, you have to melt a little, the melting pot. Now, I looked up, guys, I looked up on the Google. I looked up the synonyms for the word melt. I got 1 minute, let's see if I can get it. Oh, that I left it on there. Okay, I have to write it again. Melt, okay? Okay, here. The thesaurus, you know, you can have a book, but now you have to, okay. The first 4 words that are synonyms of melt, guys. Disappear, disintegrate, evaporate, fade. Basically, what a melting pot means is that your differences, you're being a separate, special nation, right? Sons of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, having a certain level of holiness, to be a melting pot that has to disintegrate, disappear. You can't really be different. It's a melting pot. It's a melting pot. We're a melting pot. And I think almost subconsciously, I don't think anyone wants it, any non-Jew wants it in a bad way. But in general, that's what society is trying to do. They're trying to make a melting pot. Even the social media, do it this way, do it that way. Now, I think what Chanukah is saying, and I thought this is like in a sense the antithesis, because melting means you melt and you fade away, whereas burning, kindling, shining out means the opposite. Means you don't disappear. Means you stand strong and people see your light. Now, the lights end at a certain point, the oil will finish, but in the Beit HaMikdash we had the Ner Tamid, the light that's always on. And when it burns, it's strong. Right? I think Chanukah is saying, Chanukah is telling us, no, we can't melt. We can't melt. We'll melt away. We won't be left. We won't have who we are. Right? Instead of if we're told or we think we have to melt away, then we have to think of Hanukkah, because it's the opposite. We have to not be ashamed of who we are. We have to, like the Maccabim came right to the Beit HaMikdash, lit, right? Pirsuma Nisa. Why is it so important, Pirsuma Nisa? Because we have to be proud of the miracles that happen. We have to be proud of our heritage, proud that we light the candles. Not be afraid to stand out. This is who we are. Now I remember, look, I'm telling you myself, even when I was already older, I have a daughter whose name is Chaya. We were in America, she got sick. So I thought if I'd say Chaya, it would be a little funny and this. So I said, they asked me what her name was, I said just Cheryl. I said Cheryl. And then my mother comes in and they say, is Cheryl there? So I said, yeah, here she is. My mother said, what? She said, she's not Cheryl, she's Chaya. I said, I don't know, I thought it would be hard for the lady. The lady's a Jewish lady, her mother is Chaya. What are you getting so worried about? This is her name. I think guys, like Hanukkah, this is who we are. We light the menorah wherever we are. My husband and I once were in Florida, remember? We lit in the lobby. We lit the Chanukiah. You know, you're not supposed to light in the room. And all of a sudden, we just wanted the two of us. All of a sudden, 20 people gather around. And oh yeah, my son, he once, when he was in summer school, in Sunday school, he learned the bracha, and they all wanted to have a part in our lighting the Chanukiah. We stand out, we shine, we burn, we don't melt. I think that's in our, like just at one point, if the nations tried to destroy us, and Hashem made us more. The nation tried to remove our Torah, tried to forget that we should forget our Torah. Hashem adds Torah. Hashem adds Chagim. Hashem adds mitzvot. Hashem adds mitzvot. Right? And now, if the culture of the world, I'm not saying this nation, that nation, because America does it the best, the nicest way, and the highest rate of assimilation. I don't know, it's probably the same as Europe, but because that's what the culture is telling you to do. The culture is telling you to melt. Now, I'm not saying you can't do anything, but when there's a conflict between something of work, or something of sports, or something of a book, or literature, of a school, of a course, and Torah has to come first. We don't melt. We don't melt. We have truths, we have halacha, we have ideas, we have values. They go first. We are who we are. That's what we make the Havdalah every week. The Havdil ben Kodesh L'chor, ben Yisrael Amim, Kodesh L'chor, ben Yisrael Amim. We are different. We are different. We don't have to be ashamed to say it. We don't have to be ashamed to say our name. Instead, if you already go by your secular name, and I'm not saying you should change it, but we don't have to be ashamed. This is who we are. We don't have to fit, where we can, fine. We can blend, we can do the same thing, we can, where it doesn't involve rules of kashrut, or, right, if we can have a cup of coffee with somebody who's not Jewish or whatever, but we have to set ourselves parameters. We have to set ourselves, make sure we know who we are and we're proud of who we are. And I think that very much in Hanukkah, that we have the mitzvah Pirsumei Nisa, because Hashem wanted us not only to remember the miracle, right, but to publicize it. And when we publicize it to others, first what do? We publicize it to ourselves. We make sure that we're aware of who we are, who the miracle is, how we are different, how we have a higher level. Again, where there's no conflict, we can mix a bit here and there. But once the conflict comes, we just say, we like you very much, but we have a Shabbat. We like you very much. Let's do something on Sunday and not on Shabbat. We like you very much. We have rules of kashrut. Right? We light our menorah. We light our menorah and we're not ashamed. We light our menorah that everybody can see. So I think that's, as you're going to light the menorah, right? As you're going to light the menorah, what could be of just everything melting and blending, right? And fitting in, which I think you'll have to, as you go into society, as you go into the world, which I think, unfortunately, you'll feel, and I think in America, that's what's bringing on this terrible level of assimilation. People forget who they are. They're afraid to publicize. They're afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to be Jews. There's no reason. There's no reason for it. There's no reason, because anytime there's a idea, a mindset of the world, and it's against Torah, Hashem will make sure the opposite will happen. That here in Israel, how many? 9 million people? 9 million people. No one said we could be here. No, you want them not to be a nation. Right, here we are, 9 million strong in Israel. We're a separate nation. But if we don't have Torah, what are we have to do it. We have to do it with Torah, and Torah that shines bright. Right, that we're an Or LaGoyim. We light our light of Torah, we light our light of Hanukkah strong, and we fight the melting pot. We fight the melting pot whenever it conflicts, whenever there's any conflict with with our heritage, with Morashat Kehilat Yaakov. Chanukah Sameach, light strong, sing strong, enjoy.